Hi again, everybody. Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards of Football, and this is the Sports Page with Bob Case. Bob today has scheduled one of the greats. You'll recognize him as soon as we start talking. Hall of Famer as a player. He was a coach. He's been a baseball analyst for all of his life, ever since he grew up in Cuba, and we are so glad to welcome Tony Perez to the show. What an honor it is for us. And Bob, getting Tony took a little bit of swaying, didn't it? Tony's had some things with his schedule. He went back to Cincinnati just a few days ago. He's been in Puerto Rico. He's all over the place. His time and the demands on it are still just as high as when he was a player. But thank you, Bob, first and foremost, for scheduling and getting Tony to be on the show. And Tony, obviously, thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you guys for having me. I always open to anything that people want to know about me, and you guys are doing something people will like.
Well, all I can say is Tony Perez. I knew so many guys that either played with him, and I know Pete Rose, who was a dear friend of mine, loved Tony, and Al the Bull Ferrara, who was there in 1971, one of the great characters of all time, who was a dear friend of mine, one of my best friends. We lost him in November of 2024, but Al used to always say his favorite Red was Tony Perez, and I've heard it over and over again. And Ron Say used to say they feared Tony Perez more than anybody else in the Big Red Machine. He was an RBI machine. He was, he just played the game. He was not a showboat. He just played the game every day. He was never on the DL. He was always just playing the game. He was just what you call a gamer, and he was definitely the leader of that Big Red Machine, which in my lifetime, I would say that 8 they had, I would say we talk about it all the time. There's never been a better starting 8 than that I have seen. If there is one, I've never seen it. And from everybody, from Geronimo Concepcion, I mean, great fielders, great, Pete, bench, the whole team, Joe Morgan, a great second baseman. But it's just an honor to have Tony on here and to have somebody represent this. This is the first guy. We've had a lot of great guests and athletes and great baseball players, but we never had anybody from the Big Red Machine, and that was really seriously the greatest run. Maybe I would say the New York Yankees, when Casey Stengel won 5 straight World Series in 1949, 50, 51, 52, 53. But in the modern era, the Big Red Machine was the most dominant team of all, and the Dodgers could not beat them. They tried for years, and it was a great rivalry they had with the Big Red Machine. And everybody in LA hated Cincinnati. They just hated them. But it was so. And Tony, the other thing I want to say, he was always a classy guy. I have never, from any ball player, heard a negative word about him. And I want to tell you one of the funniest things. We had lunch with Sparky Anderson and Al Ferrara. We went to a luncheon. And one of the greatest, Al was a nutcase and a character. He was always going across to Covington, Kentucky with Tommy Helms to gamble, and they were just characters. But Al said that one day Sparky put him a game against the Philadelphia Phillies his first year there, and he made an error in left field. So Sparky jumped on him in the dugout, and Al said, "What the F do you expect for me, for Angel Bravo, Willie Mays?" And the place went nuts. I mean, I heard Pete thinks it's one of the funniest quotes he ever heard. "What the F do you expect for me, for Angel Bravo, Willie Mays?" And he wasn't there too much longer after that.
I was somebody. He was so funny. I mean, I had a great time with him when he was.
Yeah.
And he always had something to say.
Absolutely.
And every time he opened his mouth, everybody's laughing because he was new. He didn't play every day, but he kept the team, happy and ready to play. I mean, I love it.
And Clay Carroll, they used to tell us, Al used to say they would always whisper around Clay Carroll, and he'd think they were talking about him, and they would tease him, and they would whisper and say something, and Clay Carroll would go nuts because he'd think they were talking about him.
Yeah, he's really Clay. He was a guy who was looking for somebody to say something, and he'd think, "Oh wait, like you say, he think we talking about him, and we didn't talking about him. We just make him to know we are doing something. But he was funny.
Well, the bottom line is that team was a great team, and they all had fun, and you had a lot of different characters and different kinds of guys. And one guy didn't like another guy, and Bernie Stowe would have one guy on one side of the locker room, the one guy on the other side.
Yeah, we got the Gray Clubhouse man on the wall. I mean, he was so funny too. I mean, everybody had fun in that team. Our team was so great. I mean, we got a good player in every position, and we have the team everybody want to see. The team who got a speed, power, he can defense, he can run. I mean, we can do it all. We got different people, but those people know how to play the game and play to win. That's all happened. You know, when you have a team, we got the best middle on any team. You know, when you had Johnny Banks catching and you had Morgan in second base, Concepcion and the shortstop, and Cesar Geronimo in center field, that's the best middle that you can have. Any team who have 4 players like that, who know how to play, run, and play the game, and hit, you gotta win. You gotta win, no doubt.
Well, and winning certainly came easy for that team, as you said, because the amount of all-stars, and Bob mentioned the 8. We'll get into that in just a minute. Tony, if you don't mind, your birthday is coming up in just a couple of weeks. You're from Cuba. Talk a little bit about what it was like for you when you were growing up, the things that you did, the athleticism that you had, the baseball, maybe some soccer. What other sports did you and your brothers or sisters, what was life like for you when you were growing up? The city that I have right here, I took some pictures of it. I sure hope you don't mind. It's Ciego de Avila. Am I saying that correctly? That's where you're from?
Yeah, Ciego de Avila is the city. We were close to me, but I raised and I born there because my grandmother delivered me. He was the guy. I went to his to Ciego de Avila. My mother went to Ciego de Avila to make my grandmother helping and receive the boy, the meat, and she did. And everybody think I'm from Ciego de Avila. No, I raised in the Central Violeta. It's a sugar, you know, we make sugar and little place, and not a big city. It's on the part of the country, you know.
Yeah.
We make sugar, and that was one of the best products in Cuba, you know, do business with, and really we didn't have much to do. I played baseball. That was the first. I played basketball a little. Volleyball. I did too, but that was it. I ain't played nothing out, and then both of those other events, I stick with baseball, and because I think I love the game, I want to play, and we play there. When I played in my city, I call it city, but it's not. Where I raised, I play to win. We used to challenge each other, you know, and it's either who gonna win this game when we play. And we did a good job because I raised with that on my heart and in myself. Played the game to win. That's all I did. I'm trying to help my team.
I read that around 17 years old, is it Tony Pacheco that discovered you? And there was a Havana Sugar Kings team. I'm imagining you could really hit a fastball, right? There's a lot of Latin American players that, boy, they can hit a fastball. Curveballs are a little different, but your ability to hit, obviously, from the very first game that you played, you were putting the ball in play.
Yeah, well, Tony Pacheco, yeah, that's the guy who discovered me and the guy who signed me. I was a better breaking ball hitter, and I was a fastball hitter. I hit both.
Yeah.
But, you know, the reason is for I hit the breaking ball is because we didn't play a hard throw. We didn't play hard game later, but I raised playing like a softball. It's not a softball, just play easy. play right there and to win. And
Okay.
it's what I staying back on the ball because when we play, we don't throw hard. We just, flip the ball and then we hit like softball, but with a baseball ball. And that's what we did. And I was a very, very good hitter of breaking ball, change up and not, and a slider. Everybody can hit a breaking ball, but if you're staying back, for you weigh on it, and that's what I used to do, and like a lot of people told me, well, let me say this: Tom Seaver, a great pitcher, great pitcher. He called me, looking for the mistake, you know.
Yeah.
He called me a cripple hitter, and one of those days, and I say, well, I you could, for you face a guys like Tom Seaver, Buck Gibson, and on those guys, you looking for mistake. You cannot hit his pitches. For you swing at his pitches, you dead. And I did a lot of that with Buck Gibson. He used to give me out easier than the other pitchers, but he was a different. He got a control on that. And Seaver, the only thing I told him is say, don't hang it. For you hang a breaking ball, I'm gonna hit it because that's a mistake I was looking for. That's all.
Well, you played both with and against Tom Seaver. Obviously, when he became ready, one of the best parts of his career was playing with Cincinnati. Again, with the defense that you guys had, all he had to do was just get some ground outs, right? And it was pretty easy for him to do that.
Yeah, but I wasn't. I was already traded when they got that. Same year they traded me, they got Seaver. They go. I didn't play with Seaver in Cincinnati.
Okay.
Yeah,
Please
because
forgive me
I
for
got
that.
traded after 76 season, and he came up in 77.
Okay.
And I was in Montreal already.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yes.
Well, let's go back to early days. You're 16, 17 years old. You're really good. You're being scouted, and you get brought up in was it the San Diego Padres in the California League that you started your career in?
No, I starting on. We got a lot of things. We got A ball, double A, a rookie league, and all that. And I started in rookie league, and that was they call it D ball. And you were starting from that up. And then I played Geneva, New York, and the Penn League. And then I played there 2 years. I went to Macon, Georgia. I went to Rocky Mount, North Carolina, Macon, Georgia, and then San Diego. That's where I come up in 64 in San Diego, and then I go to the village. And then I went to the village.
Tony, being a Spanish-speaking, Cuban-born player, what was it like for you growing up and being a part of the American system of baseball, where there was a language barrier and there's not a whole lot of guys that you can hang out with? Was that a tough time for you to get to know some other guys, or was everybody welcoming to you in a way that made it a lot easier? What was that experience like for you?
Well, I think for being a Spanish and coming from another country, it's going to be tough for you. Yeah, it was tough for me because my English was very, very bad. Just a little bit. Yes or no.
Right.
It's only known when I played in 1960. And then I had to learn. I don't have time to go to the school or anything because I had to play for a living. And
Yep.
and I tried easy by time by time get better with them. The first thing I did is trying to learn how to play the game. How to play the game, the thing you have to do on the field, come on, head off, man. You gotta understand that, and I work on that, and then I can help because some guys who play with me help me, and that. But it's I never had that big problem because when I signed my contract, I say I go to the state and I'm gonna play the game. I love the game. No matter what happened, no matter what happened, or I had to do, I will do it. And then when I play on the south, I have to stay on the black. With the black, I cannot go to the hotels and rock in Georgia North Carolina. But
Wow.
I had to do whatever to do to play the game, and I did it. I never complain about it. No, I just play the game and go to the ballpark, play, and come back home.
You
Hey,
know,
Tony, were you a fan of Minnie Minoso?
Oh yeah, yeah. When
That's
I
what I
grew up in Cuba, Minnie was the guy
Yeah.
who drove the big Cadillac, and in Havana, and Minnie was everybody knew Minnie, and everybody loved Minnie over there, and all the young guys like me want to be like Minnie Minoso. It's what I
Oh,
told
yeah.
my mother. I thought because I was a skinny. I was about 6'1", and I weigh 150 pounds. And when I signed, and and they call me flaco, skinny in Spanish, skinny in English, and my mother would say, "Hey, don't waste your time. You cannot be because you so little. You see those guys so big, those baseball players." And I said, "Don't worry about it. I want to be like Minnie Minoso." And I
Hey,
did.
Tony, they love in Cuba, whether it was Louis Tiant, Orestes, Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva, they love their ball players. I mean, I know when Tony Oliva went back to Cuba, they treat him like he's the king. And I'm sure you got the same treatment there, right?
Yeah, when I come back in '72, I saw because my father got sick, and I went back, and then when I went to my place, Central Violeta, everybody, Ciego de Avila, everybody knew to see my family. Received me and all the fans over there. I used
Oh,
to
yeah.
talk to, I was there for a month, almost a month. And every day I had to say something. They asking me for how the big leagues, how was Ted Williams because I play for the Red Sox. How this guy, and I had to tell him what I did, but that's a lot of fun. And like you say, people out there still love the game.
Hey, Tony, in the old days, when I was a kid, they had Cuban baseball on TV, the Havana Sugar Canes, the Cienfuegos, that you could watch it on black and white TV. And they had a beautiful Cuban girl. I'll never forget putting up the scores.
I know you'll be looking at that too.
Every inning she'd put up I remember that like it was yesterday.
No, you never forget a nice looking girl.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the way that it used to be the winter ball, Havana, Cienfuegos, Marianao, and Armendaris. That was the 14 to play during the winter. And that was beautiful. And then the Sugar King, the one that signed me, Triple-A ball club, belonged to, working with Cincinnati. And well, that was great. Everybody followed that.
Yeah.
Well, when you get to the Reds and the organization, it didn't take long for the organization itself to become really good. You were 17. Pete was 2 years older, if I'm not mistaken. Pieces started coming together. What was that like for you? You were playing third base. You moved over to first. You were all over you told me, or there was middle infield, all different positions. You could do it all. But the biggest thing is that you could hit. I think that's what kept you moving and growing in D-ball, AA, AAA, and then finally getting the big leagues is you could put the ball in play.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, in 1960, when I met Pete Rose, the way I met Pete Rose I was in the team already, and then they signed Pete, in the draft. The draft, I was playing Geneva. I was playing second base because I signed as a shortstop. And then, but I never played that position in a professional.
No.
At that year, they signed P on the draft, and then P signed him as a catcher, but he never catch. He never going back there.
Right.
And he came up they want him to play second base, and I was playing second base, and then they moved me to third and put P in second. 1960. That's when I met P.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, that's what happened. Because in spring training, when I was trying to make the team, I was a shortstop, but they signed a guy who play a big black guy who play football, and they sign him, and they give him $100,000 to sign, and I only got $2.50.
Yeah,
$2.50
$2.50. That's a big
my
difference.
visa to get up. That's what my bonus. And this guy got 100, and they say, and Pacheco, the old man's been trying to say, Tony, you got to play second base. I say, I play second base. The only thing I need is 4 at-bats. That's all. I get hit, and I play second, pitch sign, and then I go to third base. That was
Tony, you couldn't even buy a clean shirt for $2.50 back then, right? I mean, your signing bonus was basically just get on the bus. My goodness.
I made that up. I mean, that was fun. But because they pay every $2.50 for the visa for everybody.
Yeah.
And then I say, well, that's all I got. That's what I mean.
Hey Tony, did Fernando Tapani scout you?
Yeah, I know Fernando. I used to watch him play baseball in Cuba, and I met him. Yeah, but he didn't. He was Pacheco. Yeah, but I knew him.
He was a great friend of ours. He lived in Los Angeles, and he's the one that scouted Tony Oliva. He got Tony from the farms.
Right.
He played with the Washington Senators. He was very good, but he didn't play in the big leagues.
He didn't play long, but he plays a little bit with that thing.
Yeah. That was the Washington Senators used to be all Cubans. I know Carlos Paula. They had all these Cuban players.
Camilo Pascual and Pete Ramos.
Camilo Pascual was missing one finger. Did you know that? He had one finger missing on his throwing arm. Camilo Pascual.
Oh yeah, he got half. But he was great. He got a great curveball.
Well, Tony, when you first get signed up, you're playing in Old Crosby Field there in Cincinnati. Not too soon after that, they made Riverfront, Three Rivers is in Pittsburgh. And there were a bunch of new stadiums being raised all throughout Atlanta, St. Louis, the Shea Stadium construction in New York, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Houston gets a new ballpark, Kansas City gets a new ballpark, Seattle when they get a franchise. Did that change the way that you looked at baseball? Because AstroTurf became the big thing, and you played on turf for decades there in Cincinnati and Montreal.
Yeah, Crossley Field. I love to play on Crossley Field, because Crossley Field, when I hit the ball, I use the whole field, and they both carry good to right center, to right center and left center. And it was a good ballpark to hit, Crossley Field. And I start, but when they change and make the riverfront, and then, like you say, the turf change, first, at the beginning, you have to learn how to get a ground ball out there because the ball come out the back and come out to you quicker.
Yeah.
And there was in the regular grass.
Right.
And then you have to take a lot of ground balls, to be ready when they hit that ball. And guys like Willie Stargell and those guys to hit that ball left-handed to hit that ball hard every time they hit the ball good to me. I had to be quick to get it, be ready. You have to be ready because you can get killed at that.
Hey, Tony, how many balls did you hit on the Chinese laundry roof?
The Chinese laundry roof? No. I mean, what do you mean? I didn't catch that.
Behind Crossley Field, wasn't there the Chinese laundry?
Oh, I don't know. No,
yeah.
I never take it close over there.
No. Well, a couple of big long balls. Obviously, you started getting your feel for the game. The team started getting better, and before you know it, you're playing in a World Series. The first one against the Orioles, you didn't win it, but you got there. What was that like in terms of understanding how good the team was becoming and getting to play together and learning how this guy and that guy works? Because that was the beginning of what turned out to be a 8 or 9 year run where you guys were the best team in baseball every year.
Well, first of all, when we play across the field, I play with great ball players: Fran Robinson, Veda Pinson. We got Leo Cardenas. We got a good players at that time. But when we come, with those guys, when we moved to Riverfront, we got different players. We start getting the guys, the P going with me, and then you get Bench, you Lee May, you get some Tommy Helms, you get those guys, and then you get a good thing. And we were working easy. Those guys come up in the 70s, and then they come. Cesar Geronimo, first they came Concepcion came in 1970, and then we made that trade for Morgan and Billy Hand and Geronimo with the Astros, where we lost Lee May and Tommy Helms, but we got to get we start putting together everything together, and then we come out a great team. We learn how to play together. We
Yeah.
learn step by step. We know we were good, and then so you a good player, and you know how the game play, and you look around, and that's what I used to do. I'm playing first base, and I look at I start in the catching. I look at my teammate. I look my team. I say, man, we got a great team, and the only thing I have to do is do my job, and because they will do their job, and we win, and that's what happened.
Well, who are the teams to beat? Because back in those days, Pittsburgh won a World Series in '71. You had the Mets in '69. Obviously, Bob has great association with that, and with Casey and everything that was going on there. The Dodgers had some great organizations and wonderful teams in the late '60s. You said you were looking around, so you're looking at some of the other teams, and eventually it's like, hey, they got to beat us. We're the team that needs to be beat, right? We're the good guys.
Yeah, the Pirates was one, and the Dodgers, Philadelphia. That time they got a good team too, and yeah, Houston have a great team. They didn't win, but they got a great pitching,
Yeah.
and you had to battle with those guys because they can beat you. They can beat you for you just look at that and thinking, hey, how good we are. Yeah, we are good, but we had to play the game. We had to
Yeah.
play the game, and that's what Sparky Anderson was so good because he used to say that. He used to say that. Don't think that you are that too good when you're on the field. Think about home. When you're home and you get out there and you see with your wife and kids, you tell them that we got a great team. We got a good team. And that's what. But don't when you go to the ballpark, you just a player and you have to play to win. Win the game. That's all.
Now you go from third base to first base, and you really found your home there at first. Was that an easy trade out for you? Not only just switching out the glove, but learning the position and fitting in and being the guy, because you were the first baseman. I mean, there's nobody else that. I mean, Pete played it later on in his career, and some guys do, but that was your spot, right? You ended up earning that. Talk a little bit about what it was like moving around, finding your position, and then finally finding your home there at first.
What I learned how to play first base when I was in San Diego, and because they moved me to first, they want me to play first base and third, and then when I went to Cincinnati, I started first base, but then Lee May came up. It was another rookie who came here too. He came to the team. They bring him up, and I moved to third base, and Lee was playing first. And then when they trade, but that trade when we got Morgan and those guys from the Astros, Lee went over there. Yeah, I moved to first base. But I would feel that good because I lost one of my great friend and teammate on Lee May.
Yeah.
We were together all the time, and we were very close. And my family, with his family and everything. And but the game, that's the way it happened. And then he went to Houston. I went to I played, but I feel comfortable playing
Yeah,
first
really.
base
It,
better
it
than
opened.
third. I never like uh, third base is a they got in the hard position because they hit the ball hard, over there.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't even get a chance, a ground ball during the game. I was there and I say, what are you doing in here? They didn't hit a ball to you. And
Yeah.
then my first base, I feel better because I have to move every time. Every time they hit the ball, you got to run to get there to the back. And I hit the cat off man. I was at the cat off man more on the game on first base and you be in third base.
Hey,
Was
Tony,
that
did you know Lee May's brother Carlos?
Yeah, I know.
Remember when he was playing catch with a hand grenade? It blew up in his hand.
I remember Carlos. Yes.
He was a good hitter, Carlos May.
Yeah.
Was that an easy decision for you to be moved over? Was that just you and Sparky talking, or one of the other coaches, or was that a general manager decision? Did they have to sit down and go, Tony, we're probably going to trade Lee, and we need to know if you could move over? What was that decision like?
Well, when they made that trade, the one that made the decision was Bo Housen, the GM. They made the trade. I wasn't playing in Puerto Rico. I was playing winter ball in Puerto Rico when they made the trade, and I wasn't there. But they made the decision. I knew I got to spring training. I know I'm gonna go to first. That was it. But when nobody told me, anybody called me and tell me you're gonna play first, I knew I wanted to go to first base. Because they got Dennis Menke to play third base from Houston.
Wow.
Talk a little bit about Sparky and his influence on the team and his ability to get you guys just to be in the right place at the right time, play hard, be humble, go out there and do your best, and we're going to win. What was his demeanor like, and was that something that really worked well with you and your personality?
Sparky did a great job on the team. He knew he got 4 guys who can play. To be the leader on the team. There was a Morgan Pete, myself, 4 guys. And they say, he used to come to spring training and say, hey, listen, we take care of the pitching, okay? That's what his job, Sparky Anderson. I say, and then he say to the other rest of the guys, he say, those 4 guys, whatever, don't do what they do. Just do your job. Because they the guy we have to make him play every day to be, we can win.
Yeah.
And he just take care of the pitching. It's what they calling you they used to call him the hook or whatever.
Captain Hook.
Captain Hook. Yeah. there was him, and he did his job very well. But there was 4 guys that don't touch, don't try to do what they do.
Well, the team starts getting better. You're in a new ballpark. Here's a picture of it just before the World's. You hit the first home run in Riverfront Stadium, didn't you? Against the Pirates, right? The first one. That'll always be with you, right? That's one little thing that nobody else can say.
No, it wasn't me. The one that hit the first home run.
What?
Tommy Helms hit the first home run over there. Tommy Helms.
Wow.
I didn't do it. I wasn't me. There was Tommy Helms against Juan Marichal.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, we're scheduling Juan on the show here. He's just a couple of phone calls away. Well, you get to go to the World Series. Talk a little bit about that. I mean, here you are in the prime of your life. You're in your early 20s, and you're playing in a World Series against the Baltimore Orioles. What was that like for you?
Well, before we get into that, let me tell you, I hit the first home run in 3 Rivers.
In 3 Rivers. Okay, please forgive me. I got my ballpark.
I got something for you. They say they put on the newspaper, the first home run, and the guy who hit the first home run is gonna get $1,000.
What?
Hey, yeah, we all going out there and say, hey, a guy hit the first home run, and they didn't put anything like a Tony Perez winner. And then Willie Stider come out and hit the home run. They give him the $100,000.
Oh, you got to be kidding me! Yeah. The first Pirate to hit a home run gets $1,000.
Yeah, well, they didn't say that in the paper, or maybe
that's
they
not
forgot
good.
to say it.
Not good.
Then I went to Stider and said, you got to give me
You got to give me half at least.
Half of
Yeah.
that because I hit the first one. He said, no, that's me. That was me. They say I am Pirates. You not from here. I say, okay, all right. And that was the way it happened. A World Series, yeah, like when we went to the World Series, we lost the first two. We played one against Oakland and the other one against the Mets. No, the Mets was a playoff. I lost to the Orioles, the Baltimore Orioles, yeah.
You're on the cover of Sports Illustrated magazine, Tony. You're on the cover of the magazine. There's a bunch of pictures. There's Lee May and there's Boog Powell at the top, but you're in the bottom there, at third base. Look at you. I mean, you're on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Are you kidding me? And you made it again.
And right, and I made it myself, only me, myself one time too. The Sports Illustrated. That was funny. That was good. Boog Powell, big guy.
I love this picture here that we have. I hope you can see it. Dave McNally's throwing you, something, and that your unmistakable batting stance and where your hands are, and whoever took this picture, I think that's Andy Etchebarren behind the plate. But you guys lose the series, but I think you gained a confidence in yourself. Like, we know we can get there now.
Well,
we can get there anytime, and it's going to take a lot of hard work. And you went several times, obviously, before you win it in '75. But my goodness, what a great team that you were becoming. You go against a force with Baltimore, and they would end up going to the World Series again. They end up losing to the Pirates, but that was a good team. What was that series like? I mean, were the folks in Baltimore, were they good to you guys?
Well, that was in 1970, and we had problem with the pitching. We lost Simpson. We lost about three guys in them pitches, and they got 4 pitchers to win 20 games.
Yeah,
they have 4 pitchers to win 20 games, and we lost Tony Cloninger. We don't have guys. The pitching was. I know we were in trouble. We know we have a good team, but we were in trouble. And then Bruce Robinson catch everything we hit down there.
Oh my, yeah, unbelievable.
And he was great, and he had the best World Series he ever hit.
Absolutely.
He beat us easy. And then that was it. Now we don't have the team.
But Tony, let me say something. You guys, in my opinion, as a fan, that's why the starting 8 was so great, because I don't think Cincinnati Reds ever had great pitching. They had good pitching with Don Gullett and Billingham and Fred Norman and these guys. But as far as having like a Koufax and Drysdale, and you didn't have that, but you had that starting 8, which in my opinion is what made the team so great.
Yeah, we got a good pitching, but we're not like the one you mentioned. And no, we don't have those great pitchers where we got enough. The way we play the game, the team we have, we scored a lot of runs, and we held the pitching too. But
I think 1,695 RBIs we're talking to. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
We were losing game 9-1, and then in 4 innings we just came back and beat them. I mean, we used to score like crazy. I mean, that was. They give the pitching more confidence, and when they pitch it, because no matter how they do, how many runs they give, we can come back anytime. And, if they come back and hold them, we're gonna beat them, and that's what we used to do.
And Pedro Borbon did a great job as a relief pitcher, didn't he?
Yeah, Pedro Borbon, Clay. We got Billingham who was starting. I'm coming out of the bullpen too, and we got Gary Nolan and those guys you mentioned. And really, that was a good team. Like I told before, Sparky, he take care of the pitching very well. He didn't give nobody a chance. Hey, for you, out. And they were calling him a Captain Hook.
Yeah, throw strikes or you're out. You got to get out of here.
Yeah.
The 70 team loses to Baltimore. The 71 team watches Pittsburgh end up winning the World Series. And then in 72, you get to go again. You end up beating the Pirates, right? Here's a picture of you. Manny Sanguinis behind the plate. This is at home. And in 72, you get to go to the World Series again. This time it's against the A's.
Well, the A's, We played a good series. There were 7 games, and the last game we almost win it, but our guy in left field, it was on Monday. He make a great team, a great play against
Joe Rudy.
George Rudy. Yeah, Rudy make a great, and I'm a great hit a ball on the left field. I was on first base, and I was around second to you know to get that time run, and he make a great play. I had to come back all the way, and then they did it. They beat us by 1 run in 7 games. That was a good series.
One of the things that I liked about, and I mentioned the ballparks, Oakland ends up with a fairly new one too. Theirs is only a year or two. Big park, right? Um, and again, the circular, round, multi-purpose, where the Raiders got to play. You played with the Bengals. Obviously, you had to share time with that. But the series itself, one of the things that was interesting is Oakland, you never knew what kind of uniforms they were going to come out with. Are they going to have the green top or the white top or the yellow top? They had some of the goofiest uniforms ever. But what a team. You mentioned Joe Rudy. Gene Tennis had a great series against you. And Reggie Jackson, of course. And Bert Campaneris there at short, Sal Bando. They had some great players on that team.
Yeah, they got a great team. We were lucky Reggie didn't play in that. He was hurt. Reggie didn't play in that series, and we got a break there. But still, they got a great team, and they got a good pitching, and they know they got a good pitching. They got a great closer, and everything was. And they played good. They played better than we did, I think, on the field.
Well, that's a second loss then for the organization. Oh, gosh, man, what's going on? The 73 Mets end up going to the World Series. They end up losing to the same A's, in that three-peat that they had. 74, Dodgers lose to the A's, right? So but 75 things changed. So 2 solid years of tough baseball to go before the team really gets their first chance to celebrate. Would you mind talking a little bit about the Boston series and, just how much fun it was for you guys to play against a Red Sox team? A lot of controversy, and then you get a 7-game series, but you finally get that monkey off your back and you get the win.
Well, yes, that was a great series, the best we played. I mean, and they played. That was good. Nomeka got a great plays on the field and on the field, but it was like we win the first game on home, and then they came back, and then went to the guy at the 6th game when the Fish hit the home run. Bernie Carbo hit the home run and tights the game, and then Fish hit the home run and tied the series, because if we win that game, we win the series. And when we make a mistake on the pitching, and Eastwood make a mistake, and he hit that ball. Yeah, I was watching that still, and that was. But we never give up. We never give up. It was a great game. They made great play, and they came back and beat us. But we were tight. And then I remember after the game, we were talking, Bench, Pete, myself, we were Morgan, we were, everybody. We were talking about how a great series. Spikey come up and say, "Great series, we the beat Red Machine until we lost this series. We're gonna lose that." They say, "Sparky, don't worry about it. We win it tomorrow. Don't worry about it. We're not done. We're not done yet." They say, "Okay, all right." Next day, we losing 3-0 in the 6th inning, and Sparky was walking. I went to hit. I was the 5th guy on the 6th inning. And I go and give my bat, and I saw Sparky walk down on the tunnel and raise his head and worry like hell. I said, "Sparky, what happened?" He said, "What happened? You know what happened? Because we're losing 3-0. I said, "Sparky, don't worry about it. If I get to hit, and I'm gonna hit a home run. I didn't like. I said that. I told him that, and he looked at me and said, "Oh yeah." And he walked in, and then that happened. I came up, and Bill Lee threw that flipper ball, whatever they call it.
Eufus ball.
Yeah, and then I weigh on it. It's what I tell you. What I play. That was it. He made the mistake because he threw it to me 3 times. First time I faced him, he bounced it that. I was the first game he pitched, and I swing at it, and I hit the ground, and I swing at it, and I look at the dugout, and everybody was laughing at that because
Yes,
we make a
absolutely.
funny swing, they're gonna laugh, and I see everybody laughing. I don't want to laugh because I'm over there trying to hit, and I don't want the people to see me laughing. But I was embarrassing a little bit, and I say okay, and then in the other game he threw me that again, and I say I'm gonna look at it because I don't have to strike, and I look. What I was doing, I was looking at his feet, how he ended up with his, he was slow, pump, and then he put his front foot on it, and I say, now I got you. When you throw it again, I'm gonna hurt you, and he
Yeah.
did. He
You
did
changed the
because
series, Tony. That
yeah,
changed
because
everything.
other people say, you were looking for that pitch. I know. I didn't. I wasn't looking for what I know back in my head, right here. I got it, and I saw his step. I said he's coming, and I
What a
heard it,
great picture that was of him hitting that picture, hitting the
and I
ball.
hit it, and then we come back and win the series. That was it.
Hold on, I got the okay. So here's Louis Tiant and you
Louis
on the
Tiant.
left-hand side, right? Louis threw what? 3 games? Did he go 1, 4,
Yeah,
and 7?
he pitched 3 games because he got 3 days. It rained for 3 days. We got
That's
3 days.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a long series. It took forever to take that. It was almost 2 weeks to play that because
Yep.
all the rain delays.
Right. But he was tough because he never, you
Oh.
cannot, I was a guy who hit, I want to see the pitcher on. He never showed. You see the picture, you didn't see his son, you didn't see the ball.
You saw his
That's why
numbers.
he was so tough.
He turned his
Because
back to you.
every pitch is open and you can see the ball, and that's it. That pitch, the ball should be up here, and he is still like that. And you have to wait one day. He come up quick, and the ball is on top of you.
Yeah.
Hey Tony, did you know Louis?
Let me tell you what happened with him in that series.
Please.
He thought, I always kidding with him because we are good friends, and I told him, and I was yelling at him and saying, "Well, you didn't have a fastball. You never throw a fastball. You just throw that little, your arm is dead or something." He laughing. He say, "Okay, yeah," and he keep throwing that. And that series, I was hitting, and then I yelling at him again. He got me in 3-2.
Oh goodness, yeah.
He got me in 3-2, and he says, and I yelling at him, "You're still throwing that stuff?" And they say, "Yeah." I say, and then they laugh. He got me in 3-2, and he yelled at me and say, "He's coming now." Like I say, I'm gonna throw a fastball. I say, I don't believe you. And he come up and he threw the hottest fastball I ever seen him throw by me. He struck me out. And he started laughing.
Wow.
And he say, "You don't want a fastball?" I say, "No, but not like that." He struck me out with a fastball. He got revenge on me.
Hey, Tony,
maybe that pitch. Maybe it wasn't that pitch.
Hey Tony, don't you think he belongs in the Hall of Fame, Louis Tiant?
He did. He belongs in the Hall of Fame, and I always, even now, I try to get him in because he is still on the voting, for the. But no, he passed away, and we ain't got him.
Hey Tony, did you ever see the documentary they did when he went back to Cuba? It was wonderful.
Yeah.
What a great documentary that was.
Yeah, I was there when he called me. I went there when they showed it first in Miami. Here in Miami, they got it showing one of the theaters, and then I went, and then he showed me that fastball he threw me. Right
That's
there.
funny. That's great.
It was
I
funny.
heard the story a little bit like this. Pete goes up in about the third inning of Game 6, and maybe the fourth. He was 1 for 2 at the time. I think he went 2 for 5 in the game. And he gets his helmet in. He goes, "This is a great game, man. This is a great game." And then he lines a single into right center. He comes up in the 7th inning, and he steps around. He's hitting from the left side. And he goes around Carlton Fisk, and he goes, "Pudge, this is a great game, isn't it?" And then he grounds out to short. He comes up in the 9th inning, and he goes behind the umpire, and he says, "I'm going to tell you what, right now, this is one of the greatest games I've ever played in. This is an amazing game," because it was 3-0, 3-3, 6-3, it just a back and forth. He comes up in the 11th inning, and the game is on the line, and he steps up to the plate and he backs out. And he goes, "Guys, I'm telling you what, this is the greatest game I've ever played in. This is one of the greatest baseball games. This may be one of the games that for all time." And then Carlton hits the home run. He does this. He gets in the dugout. He goes to grab his bats out of the rack, and he says to Sparky, he goes, "Skip, I think we just played the best baseball game that's ever been played." And Sparky says to him, "Peter, I'm not going to sleep tonight worrying about," and you're talking about this being the greatest game. And Pete goes, "Oh, it doesn't worry, Skip. We're going to win tomorrow. Wasn't this a great game?" He just goes off and he does it. And you said pretty much the same thing. You guys getting in the clubhouse after the ball game, and you go, "We got him. We're going to beat him tomorrow." Any truth to that at all? Did you hear anything like that?
Yeah, I saw that. I hear that. I mean, Sparky say that. Remember, he said that, and he came out to the logout and said, "Pete, crazy. I don't know what he was thinking about it because it's a game when we're losing."
Yeah.
But that's the way we play. We never lose until we lose. Like Yogi Berra used to say after the last out.
It ain't over till it's over. That's right.
Yeah, it's over until it's over. That's the way we play. We never down until we won the 27 out. That was how.
Yeah, no kidding. And then this happens, right? The next thing is you guys get to celebrate in Boston.
Right.
It was a little cold. The weather was bad the whole week. And what a thrill, right? Finally we're champions.
Look at Pete. He looked like a lion.
That man had some hair on him, didn't he? He didn't cut his hair hardly ever at all.
That was funny.
But you get to join in, and there's Johnny there on the left-hand side, and just a great celebration for you. The city.
That's a good time. That's a good time. That's what we play for.
This is number 3 from a World Series perspective. You finally win the first one, and gosh, then it just rolls, right?
Yeah,
Everything just happens.
We won that series in Boston. The next year, the Yankees had no chance.
No, you swept them, right? It was just pretty much.
But they didn't have no chance because we got the best thing ever. It's the same thing, but with different a little order. That's all. Little order. 1 year older, and we are more confident than anybody, anything in baseball. I don't know how about the Yankees or the 50s or 40, whatever, but we got the confidence was so high in 1976 that with the Yankees don't have no chance.
Tony, on purpose, I took pictures of you guys lining up. I mean, just look at that lineup, right? You look at the names.
Right.
Everyone on there was just a superstar in so many different ways. You're a part of that. You got Pete and Joe and Dreesen joins the team a little bit. George Foster, of course.
Right.
The Cesar, Concepcion, every one of them. And you guys just dominated when you needed to. Just a great time for you guys.
That pitches against the Yankees because Dreesen is playing. We can use the DH, and Dreesen was DH.
Absolutely.
It was good to have him in the lineup.
Hey Tony, what was your playing weight? You look smaller than I thought in these pictures. What did you play at?
210 pounds.
Oh, were you 210? Wow, you didn't look that big.
That's what I weigh right now too.
You look terrific.
Anyway.
Well, the one here on the right, the reason I picked this one, I got a dejected Thurman Munson, right?
Oh,
Nothing worked
yes.
for them. They end up going through, they were through the Royals, and they go through the Orioles, and they go through the Angels, and some of the other really good teams in the American League, and get to the World Series, and then they got to face you guys, and nothing worked, right?
Yeah.
Just nothing. It was
Thurman
just
Bunsen.
pretty much you guys dominated from the first pitch till the last out. You get to celebrate again. Um, there's you and Joe, obviously.
Mhm.
That traditional swing that you have with your legs extended. I mean, that's what I remember as a kid watching you on so many occasions, just coming through, putting the ball in play, another single, another double off the wall, two more RBIs. Your numbers, especially with the playoffs and the World Series, you really played. You were there and a part of it. And I guess when you're as good as you guys were, it seemed like it was easy. It's never easy, but it seemed like it because everybody just did their job.
Yeah, everybody. And my job was scoring, driving runs. I love to be guys on the base. I love to be, I made a lot of outs with nobody on, but when I got the man on, there was a different hitter. A different hitter when I saw my in the first and second and the base are loaded. I knew I had to come through there, and I did. Most of the time I did that. That's why. Right now, I'm sitting here talking to you guys, but I'm satisfied about what I did as a player, as a teammate. Because we make one city, Cincinnati, at that time, one of the greatest city in baseball.
Absolutely.
Down in the 70s, yes.
Tony, was there a philosophy that you had at the plate recently? A few years ago, I'm watching Albert Pujols doing batting practice, and he has a guy that's kind of helping him, a swing coach, if you will, a younger guy, and he would say, "Runners on first and third, move the runner." And he hit the next pitch. And again, this is batting practice. He's just working on his game. And he hit the ball into right center. The next pitch, there's a guy on second. He would say, "Runner on second, move the runner." He'd hit the ball to the right side just to make that runner go from second to third. Was there a way that you kind of philosophized what you were doing? My job is to move the runner, or my job is to score runs. You said that just a moment ago. That's what I was good at. What was your mindset when you go to the plate? What would you tell yourself? And what would you say that young players that are maybe listening or watching this, what would you suggest they do?
Well, I tell you what, like you mentioned, Pujol, uh, that's a different time. When I come out to the big leagues in 1964, it was no hitting. We had pitching coach and a third base coach.
Ted Kluszewski, right?
No.
What?
I thought that wasn't in the thing yet
Oh,
because we don't have no hitting coach. We had only two coaches, a pitcher and the third baseman. Two coaches.
I didn't
Pitcher
know.
had to be coaching first base, or one of the players coaching first base, because we never have. You have to be your own coach.
Wow.
Coming through the minor leagues and coming and first year, Kluszewski came up, and I think it was 70, 68 or 70, I think it was. No, earlier than that. But 66 or 67 or 68, he came out with a clue came out. But in 64, no hitting coach. And
Wow.
then I had to be my own coach, and I didn't mind it because but we don't have nobody to help us. I know Pujol was one of the greatest hitters, but they know, he was the he hit like I did, hit the whole field and drove in runs. I thought, but he was no hitting coach when I come in.
Yeah, they've got so many guys that a nutritional coach. You got somebody that
Yeah.
Yeah,
fielding on your own. You've got weight room and then batting, and there's so many different ways where players today are obviously they're making more money and they're using it to stay in the league as long as they possibly can and getting assistance. And again, you didn't have any of that stuff, right? You were your own coach. So what would you tell yourself when you went up to the plate?
that's what I told every time. And I can say that word. This what I say. A lot of people use it. I just say, how do you do? They asking me whatever what you asking me right now. I say,
Yeah.
I see the ball and I hit that ball.
See ball, hit ball. That hasn't changed, has it, Tony? That's been around
Nothing
forever.
changed. I see the ball and hit the ball because you got to be your own coach.
Yeah.
You wait, see the ball and wait, see the ball and hit it. And then
Well,
I
you
come
mentioned,
up when the hitting coach come up, I always used to tell him because I I like to keep my hands when I hit that right here.
yeah.
When I do it in here, sometimes because you get tired and you raise your hand. And I told the hitting coach, I say, when you see my hands high, yelling at me, tell me, call and say, hey, they high. And then I get it down there and then I start hitting again. That's the only thing I told the hitting coach to do.
Was that because you wanted to have the plane? Tony Gwynn used to say, as long as the bat is in the same plane that the ball is going to be coming in, you have a better chance to hit it. Was that something that you worked on too? You knew the ball was going to come in at a certain angle and get your bat and the barrel out in front. I mean, talk about your philosophy and what you were trying to do at the plate.
Well, when I get to the plate, but I look at my hands all the time. I
Yeah.
look where my hands are. When they here, I know I got on the right place because when they here, I going back and then down. When I got it here, I put it behind my neck. And that swing is too long.
Different angle. Yep. Different.
Different angle.
Yeah.
Different
Different.
angle. When you get your hands high, some guys have it and they don't get it back here. They get, but I used to. If I got it high, I went. You see my shoulder
Yeah.
going and my hand moved too, and I lost the ball. But I kept my
Wow.
hand what I wanted. I don't move. I just stay right there with the pitcher.
And when you see the right pitch, obviously, boom. Next thing you know, the ball's bouncing twice and hitting the wall, and you're standing on second base, and somebody scored.
And second base, I
Yeah.
don't hit too many triples. Was at second base.
Yeah, I'm good at second. I'll stay there. Hey, we talk a lot about the hitting and your philosophy there. If you don't mind, let's talk about the business of baseball and an agent. At the end of the '76 World Series, you guys end up parting ways, and you're ended up going to Montreal. Um, what was that like for you? The Reds, their budget, being able to afford all the talent that they had, they end up letting you go. We'll talk a little bit about that and what that changed in your mind's eye regarding the game and how it's played.
Well, it was 76 after 76 series. Bo Housen called me in the office. He told me, he said, Tony, if we get the right trade, we're going to trade you. I say, oh yeah? I say, yes. I say, okay. Well, I would love you to trade me to a contender team. And he say, Tony, you can make anything a contender. Wherever you go, you can make it a contender. I said, well, why you like to trade me then for? Why you trade me for? He said, well, because we have to do it. And you were dressing out there, be 5 years behind you. And I think, and they got Tom Seaver. For after I left, they got Seaver. And but it didn't come out too good too. And then Housen say after that, long later, he said he was the worst trade he ever make, the
Yeah.
decision he ever make, trading me. But that was
Um,
late. Too
that
late.
doesn't make sense to me. It does not make sense.
And there was, there was the trade, and I went to Montreal. I went to Montreal because they called me, and I answered the trade because I don't want to be at the team because those 2 years, 75 and 76, Smokey Anderson used to come to me and say, Tony, I had to get dressed in 200 bats this year. 200 bats. I mean, and every time I was playing, I was doing good. We were winning. He said, you didn't play the next 3 games, and I played like that for 2 years. I used to almost play the 160 games, 52 games, and then I was playing Not even, I lost 200 of those bats. And my last year there at 76, I hit about 265. I never hit that in my career. I never went down, and I say, there's no way. And when they say I traded me, I say, okay. And I went to Montreal, and a last play team. In my first year, we do a little better. The second year, we came up and played better because we got a lot of good players, young players like Andrew Darson, Carter, we got Cromartie, we got Valentine, and we got
Yeah.
Royer, pitcher. We got a young team. And then my last year, we lost to get into the playoff, and Philadelphia beat us, Steve Carlton beat us in the last day of the season. I mean, we almost win. And I think Bo Hassan was right. I can make anything a contender.
Yep.
That's why I make my last year in Montreal and a contender. But and then they trade, and then I signed with the Red Sox as a free agent and played 3 more years there.
Yeah, this is so strange seeing you in a Red Sox jersey.
Yeah.
It's so strange. But the business of the game, Tony, you made mention of a couple of things, and there were no trade clauses in contracts. Players didn't have the same rights or bargaining power that they do now. Is that something that really affected you in a way? Like Curt Flood, for example, when there was a collusion to keep him out of the league and to be a free agent, but yet Curt opened the door for all the other players to be able to become free agents, and yet he couldn't finish his career out because nobody would sign him. It was an all-star, and the next thing you know, he's not playing anymore. Talk a little bit about the business aspect of the game and the relationship between the union and the owners and how that affected you. You didn't have a no trade clause, and you end up going to the Expos and the Red Sox.
Yeah, but I couldn't say no to the trade.
I know.
In Cincinnati because
you didn't have that. You didn't have that right yet. It hadn't been.
Yeah, I had that right. I had that right, but I say yes. I took it because I don't want to be on the team and play. I play like keep dressing out there on the bench, and then I play and give you another 2 out on their back. When they say, but they trade me, I say yes. I have to. A lot of people get mad in Cincinnati because I accept the trade, but I cannot go playing like that the rest of my career.
Yeah.
Why would they take a proven Hall of Fame first baseman and try to get a guy like Dreesen playing time? That doesn't make sense.
No, Dreesen was a good player. He
wasn't like you.
He can't play in anything, but he was. I was feel sorry for him not playing like that because he came. He want to play, and he was a good player. I don't nothing against Dreesen. It's okay. But I was, I can't stay there and do the same thing for another 2 or 3 years. No way. Even my wife got asking me, "What do you accept the trade?" I said, and I told her, and then she said, "Okay, yeah, you're right," and that's it.
Well, you move to Montreal, you go to Boston, and then you end up on the cover of Sports Illustrated again. I thought that was pretty interesting that you end up in in Philadelphia. You've got Joe, Pete. You got 3 of the guys back together again. You can't get the whole team, but talk a little bit about the Boston and the Philadelphia portions of your career.
Yeah, that was fun. When we get together again, and they call us the Witch Kids and all that, and that was fun. And then we went to the World Series. We lost, but we went to the World Series. That was a great year for me.
Yeah.
Pete and Joe. Great. And we very enjoyed that. But the Orioles will beat us again.
Yeah.
Beat me again, and that was it. I think that was a year with Pete. I started the year with it because the right fielder got hurt in spring training. And Pete moved to Pete was the first baseman. I was on the bench, a utility man, and then he moved over there to right field, and I played first. And I got the first half of the season. I was hitting almost 400, 300. and then helped the team from that to. I got tired, and because I was 37 years old. No, I was 40 years old,
Yeah.
and then I just stopped. And then
Well,
we went to
and
the World Series. When we went to the World
13-year
Series,
difference, right, between the 70 series and then 83 with the Orioles. But gosh, so much baseball in between there, and so much great baseball really
yeah.
to be said. And um, you return to Cincinnati, you get your last hit. Did you know it was time to quit and retire, or was it something that was kind of forced upon you? Did you think you had one more year in you, or was it just time to go?
No, it was time to retire. It was time to retire because I played hurt that year because I hurt in spin training and I played with my leg, and then I got better and I finished the year pretty well. But not, but there was the year you know, I tied Orlando Cepeda with the Latin, home runs,
Yeah.
379, and that was great. That was my last year was a good year, but that was time to retire. Yeah, I think it was.
Well, but you hit so many home runs, and you really weren't a home run. You were a. I'm going to move the runners. I'm going to put the ball in play. I'm going to get a
Oh yeah.
single or a double.
I never think I was a home run hero. I hit 379
I
home
know
runs,
it's
but I
amazing.
was, but I wasn't. Think I love to hit the ball in the gap. I love to
It's
see the
called an
bases
RBI
loaded
machine.
and hit the ball in the gap and stop and second and see all those guys running back to the dugout. Three guys.
Yeah, high fives for everybody, and you just tip your cap, right? Yeah,
that
that's
was
what you're trying to do.
I called Tony an RBI machine. Is what I call him.
well. That's what I feel like it, and that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I get anytime, anywhere I get a ground ball, man in second, third base, I hit a ground ball. They play infield back. I hit a ground ball and I got that RBI. I helped the team. So I
Yeah.
ain't trying to hit a home run and pop it up and strike out like it, they do now. A lot of
Hey
guys.
Tony, when I look at your career, I think of Gene Mock's famous statement. I've said it on here before. He said, "The hardest thing in the world is getting to the big leagues for one day." He said, "What's even harder than that is staying in the big leagues for 2 days." And you played 23 years. Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. He was right.
Well, after your career is over in Cincinnati, where it starts, you end up managing. What was that like for you? I mean, was that an easy jump and a transition for 23 years? You were a part of some great organizations, and you just were able to take that over to the next step. It's not easy to do. A lot of guys aren't even wanting to think that way. What was that? What was that process like for you, going from on the field as a player to still wearing the uniform, but doing it from a managerial role behind the bench?
Well, I never liked to manage. I never really liked it. At Cincinnati, when I got that job, I don't want to do it, but my family, my wife and my kids say why not, and then they convinced me, and I accepted. But I wasn't feel that good, and then we started out good, and one bad series on the coast cost me the job, and I got fired. I mean, it wasn't pleased again, for me to be out of the game like that, but it happens. It happens.
There's only two types of coaches: those that have been fired or those that are going to be fired. Right? Everybody
Right.
end up
That's
losing
the
your
way it
job.
is.
Right?
But I not enjoy my managing. No. Then I did it again in Miami because Dave Dombrowski asked me because they fired the manager and I was I'm working for them and they asked me for 3 days and then we went to Pittsburgh. We got 3 games over there. We win 2 games, 2 out of 3, and they asked me to stay the whole thing, and I did. And they come up pretty good. They came up pretty good. But then they sold the thing, and everything everything went down again. We were going good. We watched one game, the first place, and then they come up and say they're going to sell the thing, and then all the players say, "Oh, we won it again," and everything went down, and that was it. No more money.
Well, it gave you a chance to kind of celebrate the kids a little bit. Victor and Eduardo. Eduardo has helped you put this together here today, so we want to thank him. But you get to spend some time with your boys and watch them. Gosh, they're both baseball players that made it to the highest level. Talk about that and the family, the Perez family, and what baseball means to them.
Well, we had my wife Pituca, myself. We got two great kids, Victor first and Eduardo, and Victor's doing well, and Eduardo, everybody knows. He got I think with ESPN, and he knows a lot of people. People knows him, and he played 13 years in the big leagues, and also okay, like I used to say, baseball been very, very, very good to me. We seeing my boy Eduardo, uh, doing what he's doing, make it a little better, make it much better.
Yeah, no kidding. Gosh, that's you know,
I be blessed
right
with
place,
that.
right time. But you know what? You hear stories about King Griffey Jr., where his father would bring him to the ballpark, or Barry Bonds. You had the same capability with your sons.
Yeah,
To come to the ballpark, and they're just little Weezers, and they have little red jerseys or Montreal jerseys or Boston Red Sox jerseys, and you get to take them to the park. And as a dad, that what a thrill to be able to do that. And yeah, they're gonna have to go, and mom's gonna have to pick them up, and they sit in the stands, and I got to do my job. But having access to that and really showing them what the big leagues was like, and how rewarding that could be. Thank you for doing that for your family. What an amazing attribute.
well, that's great.
Absolutely.
It's great to see the kids around the clubhouse. I used to see the Griffiths, the McRae's, a lot of teams, guy who played for the Reds, that had their kids playing the big leagues, and that was very, very nice. And I see my kid, and the way he's doing, you got to be pleased with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the great things that happens in your life is you get to go to Cooperstown. Talk a little bit about that experience there. How did you get the call and find out? You were being nominated, and the whole experience. I know from a football perspective, there's a knock that comes on your door, and Big Dave Baker would be the one that would let you know whether you were a finalist and you made it in or not. You get a big hug. But what was that experience like for you?
Well, this is the best ever happened to any player. You play, you're not even thinking you're going to be a Hall of Fame. And then when that happens, you got to feel great. You got to feel the best. You got to feel on top of the wall, the war. And that was, this is, every time I go into Cooperstown, I got the same feeling. I got the same feeling. When I made that speech, the best thing happened to me, I can tell my mother in Spanish. When
Yes.
at that time, I can tell my mother, Tita, because I used to call her like that. Tita, look at what I am. I'm here. You see, I told
Yep.
you I can play the game. I told you I'm gonna be like Mini Mignoso, and I want this is for you. That's why that was the best thing that happened to me.
It's so amazing, Tony, that you're able to do that with your family. Um, your kids are there, your teammates all get to celebrate the fact that you had such a long and then just a great career, one day after another. In baseball, 7 out of 10 times you fail, but those 3 that you make it, that'll put you in. If it's only 2, you may not ever get there. You also have a statue. I had to put the picture of the statue. I think that's fantastic. I mean, you got a statue after you in Cincinnati. I love it.
Yeah, that's fine. I did. I got all the whole family over there, and that day, and that ball I hit a sleep. Bill Lee is up and then on the roof or somewhere, some building over there, and that was great. I mean,
Is that what
everything
the
I
swing
see
is
that.
from? Is the model of that? That's from the EFIS pitch with Bill Lee from the World Series?
Yeah, they put a ball out there in front of the building. That's where the ball end up.
Yeah.
And the people went out there, and they love to see that. And the statue is the best thing. This guy did a great job on it, and yeah. And
That's
then
a,
Pete
what
and
an honor
Johnny
that is. That's
and Morgan
fantastic.
got another one over there with Nozzle and Nozzle and Jack, Frank Robinson too. Thank you, Suski. Definitely.
Yeah. And then obviously family,
That's my love
being a
family.
part of that, and your relationship, obviously with your wife, your kids,
My wife,
it's such an important
61
part.
years. 61 years, my
Yeah.
wife. Thank you.
That's
Congratulations.
fantastic.
Thank you.
Tony, you've had a tremendous life. You've had so many different things, and as you said just a few moments ago, baseball has been very, very good to you. It's been an important part of that. Um, your career, looking back, I know there are no regrets or anything like that, but um, what's one of the cool things about that you get to share it with Pete and with Joe, and when you see Johnny Bench and you go back for reunions and get to shake hands with some of the guys. I mean, talk a little bit about that experience. About you will always be regarded as a world champion everywhere you go. When Cincinnati brings you back, like they did just this past weekend, they get a jersey. This one didn't fit you very well, but it
Yeah,
fits
well,
better than George Foster's. Look at George; his jersey looks like. Come on, what's going on there?
yeah. I tell you what, every time I go out there, and last weekend was great. Seeing the guys, I see, we miss Pete and Joe, but most some other guys, but uh, we love to see each other. We love to talk about it. We love to get around. We love to get on people. We love to get on each other. It's like a family. You come back. You didn't see the family for a year or so, and you come back home and enjoy it. That's the way I feel. That's the way they feel. And this weekend, I got a Saint Red for that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
You mentioned Pete, if you don't mind. The picture I have here is later on, right? You guys, you're friends.
Yep.
It's almost like your family together. Um,
Hmm.
when you lose a guy like that, it's not only a friend; it's like a part of the family. It's like your brother. You've done so much together. You grew up 2 years apart, but you joined the organization at right about the same time. Uh, Share a story or two about Pete, if you don't mind.
Well, Pete, we met in 1960. That was a lot of years ago. And Pete always, Pete and I were very close every year. We call each other. We talk about it. We talk about the game and things like that. But the one thing about Pete, he always remembered everything, and he always talk about baseball, and
Mhm.
that's what we like to do. And it's it's tough when you work one day with a guy like we were in last year. We were there signing autograph, and we got a show, and Pete was there, and the other guy, Griffin, myself, Concepcion, Foster, and that night, and then the next day, you get a call and say Pete's gone. I mean, that was tough for us, uh, but happens, and this is life. But it's a tough. It's tough to happen, and then a few years ago, Morgan passed away too, and you know, two big guys. We
Yeah,
miss him.
absolutely. Well, like you said, Tony, Pete loved baseball. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he was as smart about statistics and history of anybody I ever. He was like a historian. He knew the whole history of the game. We used to meet with Dan Goose and his secretary and Dean Chance and Al Farrar and Greg Goose and all these guys. We'd
Oh
meet
my.
and have lunch, and he would hold court. He was so. You know what Al Farrar said? Al said, "I used to come into the locker room hungover because I've been out all night." And he said Pete would be there at 1 o'clock getting the bat boys out to play pepper with him. He said he didn't drink, he didn't smoke, he just wanted to play pepper, play baseball, 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 baseball. And
Oh,
he was truly a baseball guy that loved the game of baseball. And he was so fortunate to have you as a teammate. Hey, I just want to say one thing, Tony. I look at you for the last hour, over an hour, and you're a poster boy for the life you've had. I can look at you right now and spend an hour and this time with you, and I can see it shows in the good life you've had, how good you look, how well your wife has taken care of you. I can see you're loved, not just by millions of fans, but by your family. And it's just a wonderful thing to see you looking so good. I mean, you look 30 years younger, and there's Eduardo who got him in there. 13 years in the big leagues with that guy. Unbelievable. But anyway, no, it's just, I just can't believe how good you look and how sharp you are and everything, and that's a testament to how you've lived your life.
Well, you can see it now. You can see Eduardo. You can see my wife. That's the big thing about it. You have a family, another Victor. I mean, it's so fun. Life being like that. I thank God for that. It was very, very good to me too.
Tony, tell our audience what you're doing now. What keeps you busy? You're traveling a lot. You're still promoting the game. You mentioned that just last weekend you went back for a reunion in Cincinnati. You're always invited back, obviously there. Tell us a little bit about what keeps you busy now and how you stay fit.
Well, I didn't do much. Right now, I'm not involved in baseball. I retired 7 years ago, and I just with my wife and my sons most of the time. I traveling a lot. I got car shows I go into, and I travel. But that's the most what I do. What the most I do. Yes.
Well, we sure appreciate everything that you did to make the game better. Thank you, Tony, for obviously being a part of one of the great traditions in baseball with the Big Red Machine. When people talk about that, and Bob mentioned it, one of the great teams of all time. Yes, you can compare some Yankee organizations that have had multiple champions, but you were a part of one of the great teams in baseball and great eras as well. And you were such a formidable force, and obviously Cooperstown is better for it, but we are as well. So well done, Tony. What a great job that you did. And Bob, before we go, I know you have some final comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say and in regards to the game itself and Tony's contribution to it.
Well, Tony, I just can't tell you what an honor it was to have you on the show and hear you reminisce about the history of the game, because the Big Red Machine, which you were an integral part of, is the history of the game as far as I'm concerned. And, you were mentioning just now the Yankees. Let me just tell you, I managed Casey Stengel for 10 years, so I was very familiar with the Yankees, okay? They didn't have a starting eight. Never did they have a starting eight like the Reds. I can't think of another team that ever did in my life. So, and you were the RBI machine. I mean, everybody's always said, Ron Say used to tell me, hey, Bobby, we feared Tony Perez more than any other player on that team. And I've heard many players say that. Ron Say told me that. And he was a pretty good RBI guy too, but he used to say there was only one guy, the main guy we feared. I think he said it on this show, Harper, was Tony Perez.
Yep.
And I've heard it over and over and over again. And, I remember, Tony doesn't remember, but I first met him. The equipment manager for the San Diego Padres was a guy named Ray Peralta, who was a good friend of mine. And I remember Tony going down there in San Diego when you were playing down there, and he was just a young kid. I never dreamed that this kid would become a baseball legend and a historic part. Seeing that statue was amazing. I just love seeing that statue. And that I mean, Cooperstown, the statues, everything is just amazing. And I just want to thank you so much, Tony, for taking the time to share with the world what God has blessed you with.
Well, I'm going to thank you, Harp. I want to thank you, Bob. Really, I love to do this. I mean, it's like talking to people. You're not seeing, but when you everybody going to see this, and thank you for having me.
Well, we've certainly been all the better because of it, Tony. Thank you again for being a part of the show. And this has been the Sports Page with Bob Case. Our guest today has been Hall of Famer Tony Perez. What a great contributor he was to the game of baseball, and obviously with life, with his successful marriage, with his family, his son Eduardo and Victor. Eduardo putting everything together for us today. One thing you need to work on, Tony, is getting better at technology and being able to do a podcast. You know what I mean? It's between Bob and me and everybody. It's not that hard.
I'm his technology right now. I'm his technology. That's okay.
It's
him here. I love it.
Yeah, Eduardo. We wouldn't
Tony, my grandson knows more when he was 5 years old about how to operate this stuff than I do. So
no, okay.
Yeah,
thank you,
it's
guys.
crazy. Well, you're very welcome. We just want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in today. This has been the Sports Page with Bob Case, again, part of 100 Yards of Football with Bob Case. I'm Harper LeBel. Our guest today, Tony Perez. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. We hope you have a fantastic